And so today, our topic is passive voice in real situations. And what I mean here is we're talking about how to use passive voice, but more importantly, we're talking about why and when we use it. Because although some people struggle to make passive voice sentences, in my opinion, or in my experience, one of the things that I think a lot of people struggle with even more is understanding when you're actually supposed to use passive voice. So that's what a lot of today's lesson is going to be about. But yes, we are also going to practice making sentences. So we're talking about when and why we use it, and also how to make sentences with passive voice. And right before we begin, one other thing I want to mention is that I now have a new website for my ebooks. So if anyone has tried to buy my ebooks in the past and had difficulty because the previous website was a little bit difficult, you had to click like 3 times, then create an account. This one is a lot easier to use. It also allows you to pay different ways. You can use credit card, PayPal, I think Alipay, some other things. So if anyone's tried to buy my books in the past but was unsuccessful, you can now use this here, teachermikeenglish.lemonsqueezy.com. Or if you're just interested in my books and haven't tried to buy them yet, yeah, they are here. Okay, so again, passive voice in real situations. The first thing that we need to talk about is active voice versus passive voice. So we're going to talk about what is the difference between them. And I see comments from 2 more people. Hi, Mike. Nice to see you. Good afternoon, teacher Mike from Sweden. Hello, hello. Thank you, both of you, for joining. So, active voice versus passive voice. We use active voice when someone or someone does something. What does that mean? Basically, we're focusing on the person or the thing doing the action. For example, my sister drinks milk. My sister is the subject, drink is the verb, milk is the object. So here we have my sister, we have milk, and we have drink. Really, the most important thing that we are focusing here is my sister. We care about who is doing it. Also, please send a comment. Let me know how well you can hear me. I just want to make sure the microphone is good before I continue. I think it's okay, but if someone could just send a comment and let me know, that would be great. Thank you. So we're focusing on my sister. So a situation in which we might say, my sister drinks milk. If someone says, do you know anyone who drinks milk? My sister drinks milk. So we're really focusing on who is the person who does this. My sister drinks milk. I see we've got 2 comments. It's working perfectly. I can hear you clearly. Okay, thank you very much, both of you. I appreciate that. Thank you. So yeah, my sister drinks milk. We care about the person. We want to know who it is. The person is important. Another example, I teach English. If someone says, hey, Mike, what's something that you do? Oh, I teach English. Focusing on me being the person who does it. Passive voice would be English is taught, or English is taught by me. That would not be a natural thing to say in this situation, because in this situation, we're focusing on me. I need to move the microphone a little bit to make sure I don't hit it. Okay. Now, what about passive voice? Passive voice is when something happens to someone or something. Not super clear, That's okay because I have more for you. Basically, we're focusing on the action, the result, or the receiver of the action, not the person doing the action. So, this is when we typically use passive voice. We care about the action, we care about the result, we don't really care about the receiver so much. We might care about them, but we're not focusing, or sorry, we don't care about the person doing the action. Why do we do this though? Usually because either I know I said we don't care a moment ago. It's not always about caring. Sometimes it's we don't know, sometimes it's we don't care, and sometimes we don't want to say. So maybe we don't know who did it, maybe we don't care who did it, maybe we don't want to say who did it. Um, Here's an example of we don't want to say who did it because you might be a little bit confused about that one. And if you've watched my videos about this topic before, you've probably heard this one. That's okay. So imagine you're in a meeting at work and there's a really big problem because of one person. So one person made a big mistake and it created a very big problem for your company. And everyone from the company is in the room. And your boss says, Sarah made a really big mistake. Sarah is going to feel bad. Probably. She might not care, but most people would feel bad in that situation. So instead, what the boss could do is say, a mistake was made. That's passive voice. It takes the blame off of Sarah. It focuses more on what happened, not who did it. So that's what I mean when we say we don't want to say who did it. And I know I'm giving you some examples without showing you the structures yet. Don't worry about it. I will show you the structures soon. Just checking the comments to make sure there's no specific questions. I see one person has joined. Hi, Teacher Mike. Hi, all. Hello, hello. Thank you for joining. So there's a question here. Nice to see you. Which tenses do you usually use in passive voice? So you can use most tenses. However, we don't usually use the more complicated tenses. For example, future perfect continuous or actually present perfect continuous we also don't usually use just because it's a little bit weird, like I have been being taught. You can do that, but we don't do it very often. um, but we can talk about that more later. I want to continue with the basics right now, but good question. So we usually use it when we don't know, don't care, or don't want to say, and we want to focus on the action, the result, or the receiver of the action, not the doer of the action. However, it's also very common in formal writing and sometimes formal speech. For example, news, science, law. Ooh, that should say product. Let me fix that for you 1 second. So formal language such as news, science, law, or product descriptions. And this is because in these situations, we usually care a lot more about the thing that happened, not the person who did it. Um, for example, let's say product description. This shirt was made in Guatemala. This shirt was made in Guatemala because we're not going to say a woman in a factory in Guatemala made this shirt. Like, sure, there might be some situations where you'd say that, but in general, What we care is that the shirt was made in that place, not the specific person or the specific type of person who made the shirt. So yeah, it's also used in formal language in these types of situations. Now, how do we make passive voice? This is the structure that we use. Subject, be, past participle. Two things we need to be careful with here. Be is going to change depending on the tense. So it might be am, it might be is, it might be was, it might be were. And past participle, if you might already know what past participle is, but if you don't, it's the third form of the verb. So eat, ate, eaten. So when using passive voice, we'll use eaten. Or study, studied, studied. 2 and 3 are the same, but we use studied. Or ride a bus, ride, rode, ridden. Ridden is the one that we are going to use here. So passive voice, use the third form of the verb. Now I'm going to give you two examples. The first one is present simple and the second one is past simple. That's what we're going to start with. Later on, we will look at some of the different tenses, but we're going to start with the basic ones. So, present simple. You are loved. So, here, we're focusing on the fact that you are a person who has love from other people. In active voice, it would be people love you. However, here it's focusing more on you than on who those specific people are. Why do we do this? In this case, it might just be to say, hey, don't worry. You are a person who people love. But by saying you first and focusing more on you, it's more to show you that you have love in your life, not to talk about what other people are doing. Another example, they were seen. So this one is past simple. They were seen. The most important thing that we are focusing on is that this happened to them, but we don't really care or want to say or know who those people who saw them were. That's not the most important thing here. The most important thing is that eyeballs were on them. Now, if you think that you're not going to remember this 100%, I would like you to take a moment to write this down right now. Oh, actually, you don't need to. You don't need to. I would like you to if you want to, but you don't need to because I do have it on the next part that I'm going to show you. So again, we have it again right here. Subject, be, past participle. Now, I have build, new bridge. And you can see in parentheses, it says past. So I want you to write a past tense sentence using the verb build and using the noun new bridge in passive voice. So using subject, be, past participle. So the noun is going to be the subject. Verb to be needs to be in the past. And the past participle needs to be the third form of build. So I would like you all to take a moment to write a sentence and send it in the comments. I see one person has sent one. I'll wait a moment for a few more people to send their sentences. Okay, we've got two. I'll wait for one more. Okay, so the first two The first one we got was a new bridge was built. Very good. So this is correct. The only thing missing is that you need a period at the end of your sentence. So, Guerma, 100% correct. Very good. A new bridge was built, period. Irena, you almost got it, and I know you can see this now, but you need a new bridge was built. I know it's a little confusing because I didn't give you a, but I want you to be thinking about it yourself. But you did the passive voice correct. You just forgot a. Yes, a new bridge was built. Very good. Marco, you forgot that, or maybe you didn't know that build, the third form of build is built with a T. So B-U-I-L-T. So again, it should look like this. A new bridge was built. But very good job, everybody. Everybody got the sentence structure correct. Everyone put the words in the correct order. Very good. Now we've got one more. So the next one, the verb is hold. The noun is elections. And I also want you to include every year. And the sentence should be in present simple tense. So we want a present simple tense sentence using hold, elections, and every year. And you're going to have to see if you know what is the third form of hold. What is the third form of hold? If you know what the second form is, it's the same as the second form. I will wait to see some of the comments. Evelyn, thank you for joining. I see your comment. Thank you. English with teacher Fernanda, you have the same problem that you had in the last one. You need a period at the end of your sentence. In British English, they call it a full stop. You need a full stop at the end of your sentence. But in American English, we call it a period. Okay, so let's get sentences from 2 or 3 more people, please. Guerma, good job, but I want you to include every year. I'll wait for 1 or 2 more people to send sentences. Okay, Elena, you got it. So English with teacher Fernanda, again, you need a period at the end of your sentence, the little dot period. Marco, you almost got it, but the third form of hold is held. So this time, Irena, you got it perfect. Very good. The elections are held every year. So the elections is the subject, it's the noun. Are is the form of be that matches elections. And held is the third form of hold. Very good, very good. So the elections are held every year. Elections are, oh, sorry, not that one. We already had that one. You could also, so yes, this is what I was going to talk about. Is it necessary to include the? No, it's not. It's not necessary. It depends on which elections you are talking about. If there are specific elections that we already know about, and we know that we are talking about these ones, then yes, we would include the. But if we haven't specified which elections we are talking about, no, you don't need the. So it could also be like this. This is correct too. Elections are held every year, or the elections are held every year. Both are correct. Okay, very good job, everybody. Be careful with this one. So we're not going to use does. We're always going to have be. So is, am, are, was, were. We do not need do or does when making passive voice. Okay, you've probably noticed that sometimes we use by when using passive voice. Why do we do that? So we use by when the doer is still important, but they're less important than the action. For example, they were seen by several people. In this case, the most important thing is that they were seen. They received eyeballs on them. Um, but we also want to specify that it was more than one person. So by several people. Um, what I want you to understand here is that we use passive voice for a specific reason. Again, because we don't know who, we don't care who, we don't want to say who, or because the person is less important than the action, like here. The action is the most important thing here. The people are still important, but they're less important. This is the problem that I think a lot of people have with passive voice, again, is that they know how to make the sentences, but they don't understand when to use them. So every time they make a passive voice sentence, they include by. The dog was kicked by me. No, that's a really weird thing to say. In that case, you would use active voice. I kicked the dog. I didn't kick the dog though. I wouldn't do that. So I want you to be aware that you can use by, but often you're not going to have by because we don't know who, we don't care who, or we don't want to say who. Another example. He is loved by many. So although we usually have many noun, when we say just many, we know that it means many people. And in this case, this is a more natural way to say it. He is loved by many. You could also say many people love him. However, here we're focusing on him. We're focusing on he is a person with all this love. We're focusing on him more than we are focusing on those specific people who love him. So now we're going to do another example with by, and I want you to do it for me. So we have steal. Steal is the verb. Thief is the subject. We also, or sorry, well, actually, we have two nouns. We have thief and my bag. So you decide which one is the subject. So I want you all to make a sentence with these words: steal, thief, and my bag. And it should be past tense. I've got to check something while you are writing those sentences. All right, let's see. Nania, thank you for joining and thank you for being a member. Um, Teacher Raider, I see your question. I'd like to answer it later. So if you can remember at the end of the lesson to ask it one more time, that would be great. Thank you. Okay, so the first sentence we have Naniakobia, my bag was stolen. So this is correct, but I wanted you to include thief. And you need a period at the end of your sentence. So, my bag was stolen by a thief. Period. Perfect. Very good. Very good, Elena. My bag was stolen by a thief. Guerma. Very good. Okay, Nania, you got it. You got it. Good, good, very good. But you still need a period at the end of your sentence. Look at these two. My bag was stolen by a thief. Period. My bag was stolen by a thief. Period. Irena, you got it. My bag was stolen by a thief. Remember, we're doing passive voice. We're using passive voice. So the phone needs to be first. My phone. Or sorry, oh, it should be my bag, my bag. So we're making sentences using the words that I am giving you. We are not creating our own sentences right now. My bag was stolen by a thief. In this case, to add a is right. Correct, correct. So it could be a thief. It could be the thief. It could be that thief. It could be this thief. But yes, you need something before thief. Very good. Um, my bag was stolen by a thief. Good. But we need to think about this. So this, we've all got it correct now. My bag was stolen by a thief. But I want you to answer in the comments. Is it important to say by a thief? Should we really add by a thief in this example? Let me know what you think in the comments. Yes or no? Should we include by a thief? Or should we just say, my bag was stolen? Is it important to say by a thief? Yes or no? Nania says no, and thank you again for being a member, Nania. I appreciate your support. Irena says not necessary, and Irena is also a subscriber on Facebook. So, Irena, thank you for your support there. Elena, I guess no, because the doer of the action is obvious. Perfect, perfect. Guerma also says no. Very good, very good. But I want to go back to Elena's because this is important. The reason you don't need to say by a thief is because if you say, my bag was stolen, we know, we know that the person is a thief because thieves are the people who steal. So it's not necessary to add that. In most cases, it's a little bit weird to add that because we already know that it was a thief. And it's not really important. The important thing is that your bag is not here and you have a problem now because your bag is gone. And that is why we use passive voice there. So we use passive voice because we are focusing on the fact that the bag is gone, the result of the action. We have a problem. We don't care about the thief. We care about the bag. We care about the situation. Yeah, so it's obvious. It's obvious that the thief was the person who did it. Very good. Okay, now, next one. This book, write George Orwell, past tense. George Orwell is an author. I think I have a book. Yeah. So this book, 1984. So I want you to write a sentence using these words, knowing that George Orwell is the author of the book, the person who wrote the book. And we know that the first form of write is write. The second form is wrote. But what is the third form of write? Let's see who knows. So please, please try to write your sentences using past tense passive voice. I see we've got one that's correct, but I'm going to wait for more people to try it first. Okay, it looks like you all have got it. So, this book was written by George Orwell. Good, good, good. So, this book was, because past tense, one thing, was, by George Orwell. This book was written by George Orwell. Very good. This book was written by George Orwell in the 20th century. Good, very good. But you need a period at the end of your sentence. This book was written by George Orwell. I have read 1984. Good, 1984 is the name of the book. A great book. Very good. This book was written by George Orwell. Very good. Good, good, good. Just be careful. Book, one book. Okay, you've got it. Very good, very good. Now, what do we think? Is this an example where it makes sense to use passive voice? Or actually, no, that's not the question. I'm going to tell you this is an example where it makes sense to use passive voice because we are focusing on the book. So it does make sense to use passive voice here. But does it make sense to include the name of the author? Does it make sense to include George Orwell? Yes or no? Yes or no? Does it make sense to include the name of the author? So does it make sense to include the name of the author here in passive voice? Yes or no? I see one person has answered, but I'm going to wait for one or two or maybe three more people. Okay, so we've got three people who said yes. And yes, it does make sense to include the name of the author here because the name of the author is important. If we just say this book was written, every book is written or was written. So that's not useful information. It's only useful if we add a little bit more information, like it was written, again, in the 20th century. It was written by George Orwell. But if we just say this book was written, it's not useful information. But it does make sense to use passive voice here because we are focusing on the book more than we are focusing on the author. But we still include the author because that's still important information. But the point is that we're focusing on the book, not focusing on something that author does. All right, very good, very good. Let's move on. Okay, so, oh, one more. So both of those examples were past tense. Now we're going to do one in present tense. Not that one, that's the same one. Many people study English. Oh, that's actually a complete sentence in active voice. Many people study English. It just needs a period. But I want you to make this in passive voice, remembering that it's present tense, present simple. How do we make this sentence in present simple? And you are going to include by here. You're going to include by. All right, Elena, you've got a period at the end of your sentence this time. Very good job. Very good job. I want to see that on every one of your sentences in the future now that you've got it. Please don't forget. English is studied by many people. Period. Perfect. Very good. Very good. English is studied by many people. Good. You've got it. Good, good, good. Good. Okay. Everybody's got it. English is studied by many people. You're very close, but it should be studied because we need the third form of the verb. So we need IED, studied. Again, English is studied by many people. But you've got the correct sentence order. English, be, study by many people. Good. You just need the third form of the verb, studied. English is studied by many people today. No S on today. English is studied by many people. Good, good. Now, what do we think about this whole sentence? English is studied by many people. Do you think that this is something that we would really say in real life? Yes or no? Is this something that we might say in real life? Yes or no? Yes, meaning this seems like a normal thing to say. No, meaning no, it doesn't make sense to say that. What do we think? Yes or no? Is this a normal thing to say? I see one person says yes. Nania Kobia says yes. Also, Nania Kobia, can you send a comment? What is your name? I want to know what I should call you because especially because you're a member. I want to know what your name is. Do I call you Nania? Do I call you Kobia? Do I call you Nania Kobia? Or do I call you something different? How would you prefer that I address you? What would you like me to call you? But I see everyone says yes. Okay, Nani. Okay, I will call you Nani. I will try my best to remember that. I'm going to write it actually, because I think I will see you in the future in these lessons. Nani. Okay, thank you. Yes, because we explained the fact that many people study English. Guerma says, no, it's better to use active form. So it depends. But first, most people said yes. 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 However, Guerma says no, it's better to use the active form. And I think in everyday conversation, yes, we're probably going to use the active form. Oh, many people study English. But English is studied by many people is not an unnatural thing to say. It's a very normal thing to say. It just depends on what we are talking about and why we are talking about it. So I think the answer is yes. This is a normal thing to say. However, in everyday conversation, there are many situations where it would be more natural to use active voice and say, many people study English. However, there's nothing wrong or unnatural about this. And the reason we might say it this way is that we are focusing on the language more than we are focusing on the people. So if someone is giving a presentation, they're speaking to a group of people and they're teaching these people about English. They might say, English is studied by many people all around the world. We care more about English being studied than we care about those people. In that situation, the people are less important than the fact that the language is being studied. So yes, it is a natural, normal thing to say, but Guerma, I understand why you said no, because yes, in some situations, it would make more sense to use active voice. So perhaps, but maybe with other explanations. Yes, yes. So both are possible. However, both are very natural. It just depends what you are talking about and why you are talking about it. Good job, everybody. Now, we've done present simple tense and we've done past simple tense. But with other tenses, we are going to use subject, auxiliary verb, be, past participle. So the only difference is that when we use different tenses, we also have an auxiliary verb. For example, we might have another be, can, should, might, will, have. So we're going to have these before verb to be. And if you're not going to remember this, I want you to write this down. I want you to write this down because I don't have it on the next thing. I don't have this on the next sentence. You're going to need to write this down if you're not going to remember it. So I'll give you 30 seconds to write this down. Okay, so now you are going to make a sentence for me. It, fix. Present continuous tense. So the two words I'm giving you are it and fix. And I want you to write a sentence in present continuous tense. Remember, the active in present continuous would be I am fixing it. We are fixing it. They are fixing it. But I want you to use passive voice. And this one might be pretty difficult because I haven't fully explained how to do it yet. But remember, the verb is always the past participle, the third form of the verb. So you need the third form of the verb here. And I'll help you. The third form of fix is fixed, ed. So you need fix, ed, fixed. So I know you sent this before I explained it. You're very, very close, but you need the third form of the verb. It is being fixed. Good. So this is how we do it. It is being fixed at the moment, right now. It is being fixed. Good. It can be fixed is a correct sentence, but it's not really what I asked you to do because I asked you to use present continuous, which needs ing. Present continuous always has ing somewhere. So yeah, it is being fixed. And because the third form of the verb is this one, fixed, we need the past participle, fixed, eaten, helped, had, ridden, studied. But when making present continuous, we also need ing. So that's why be becomes being. So in present continuous, you're always going to have is being or are being or am being. So I am being, you are being, we are being, they are being, plus the third form of the verb. It is being fixed by my brother. Good. So yeah, in this situation, you might add the person, you might not. It depends. It depends who you are talking to, what you are talking about, and why you are talking about it. But in many situations, no, you don't. You don't need to include who did it or who is doing it. Good. Now, next one. Oh, actually, no. Let's not do a next one. We will do one more, but first, I want you all to send me a different sentence. Send me a sentence about something different, but I want you to use present continuous. I want you to use this structure: subject, is or are, being, past participle. Actually, I'll put the example back on the screen. So I want you all to write a sentence like this one, but I want you to use a different subject and a different verb. For example, the cookies are being baked. I'd probably just say the cookies are in the oven, but this is just to give you an example. The cookies are being baked. Very good. The car is being washed. Perfect. Very good. Very good. And the car is being driven. Good. Ava, you have a question. Let's see. If I use the passive voice correctly in the sentence, don't let them fool you. Passive voice, don't let yourself be fooled. Yeah, yeah, that works. That's good. Don't let yourself be fooled. Um, don't let yourself be fooled. Yeah, I was going to say that the active voice sounds a lot more natural to me, but if we don't know who they are, then yeah, maybe you'd use passive voice. Don't let yourself be fooled. So yeah, there's nothing wrong that I can see with that sentence. That looks good to me. We are being taught English now. Yeah, good, good, good. And this is one where it's 100% correct, but you're probably never going to need to say that. You'd probably just say, "We are studying English," or "Teacher Mike is teaching us." But yes, the sentence is correct. Very good. The lesson is being explained by Teacher Mike. Very good. Very good. However, think that I don't know if I would say explain a lesson. I'd probably say the lesson is being taught by Teacher Mike. If I use explained, I might say the subject is being explained by Teacher Mike. But yeah, overall, very good. Ava, I see your other question. Let me talk about that more in the future. Off the top of my head right now, I can't think of anything, but I'm sure that I can think of some later if I have more time. So you're making this too complicated. It could be being fixed right now. This works, but it's not really what I asked you to do, and I'm not sure if you understand what it means. So it could be being fixed right now with a period at the end would work. However, that's like saying maybe it is being fixed right now, but I'm not sure. It could also mean like in my imagination, this thing could happen, but it's actually not happening because something else happened. Um, but yeah, that's not exactly what I want you to do right now. The live is being watching very, very, very close, but remember that you need the third form of the verb. The live is being watched. So be becomes being, being. That is where you have ing is in be. So being watched. The live is being watched by many students. We are being taught Chinese this year. My roses should being watered. It doesn't work to use should being. Um, you can say my roses are being watered, means someone is watering them. Or you could say my roses should be watered. But if you use should be, no ing, and it doesn't mean exactly the same thing. So you could do this. The plants are being watered. That works. Thank you for joining. Nice to see you too. Now, next one. And we're almost done. We're almost done. We'll have about 10 more minutes. We'll go a little bit longer than I was planning. So now we have wash the clothes. And we want to use present perfect. So I want to see, how do you think we would do this? Wash the clothes, present perfect. And remember, in active voice, it would be the clothes have been washed. So it's present perfect. So you need have somewhere. You need have. How do we do this? Oh no, I just told you the sentence. I just made a mistake. I told you the whole sentence because I gave it to you in passive voice. Um, active voice would be I have washed the clothes. They have washed the clothes. So I gave you the sentence. I'm sorry. English with teacher Fernanda, I see your question. I can consider doing that in the future. And yes, the clothes have been washed. The clothes have been washed. The clothes have been washed. Very good. Can you try it one more time? You forgot one thing. You forgot one thing at the end of your sentence. And now, so yeah, but this is how we use present perfect tense. Subject, have been, past participle. Can everyone give me one more sentence, but a different verb and a different thing? So now I want you to create your own sentences using present perfect tense. For example, the dog has been bathed. The cookies have been baked. But I want you all to create your own sentences now. Irena, you got it. Very good. She has been given a lot of flowers. Good. Very good. Very good. And you've got the period at the end of the sentence. Good job. Good job. So yeah, she has been given a lot of flowers. In this case, we might use passive voice because the flowers came from many people. So you could also say, many people gave her flowers, but that focuses on the number of people, not on the number of flowers. This focuses on the number of flowers. The meeting has been held. Good. The flowers have been planted. Good. Teacher Mike has been spoken about. Yeah, so it's grammatically correct. It's just kind of funny. Like, why are people speaking about me? What has happened? It sounds a bit mysterious. The plants have already been watered. Good. And you can put already there. You can also put it at the end. So you could also say, the plants have been watered already. That works too. I see a question about the third conditional, but that is not what we are talking about today, and I already have a video about that. The children have been given many gifts this time. Good, good. The women have been loved. So this one, it almost works, but it should be, the women have been loved by men. The women have been loved by men. So the plural form of woman is women, and the plural form of man is men. But overall, very good job, everybody. Let's go to the next one. So this is the last one that you're going to do. And after this, I'm just going to explain what should you do to make sure that you can use these in real situations. But first, let's do one more. Serve, dinner, 5 o'clock, future. And with future, you can use will or you can use going to, up to you. In this situation, I think that will is often going to be more natural here. So try to do this with will. Will. Serve, dinner, 5 o'clock, will for future. How would you write this sentence? Elena, very good. Very good. You've got the period at the end of your sentence also. Marco, is this one too hard? Oh, Nania, I like how you thought about at or by. So first thing, the first one we received was dinner will be served at 5 o'clock. Very good. Very good. You could also add the dinner. It's not necessary, but you could add the. That works too. Yep. Dinner will be served at 5 o'clock. Good. Dinner will be served at 5. Good, 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 good. Good. Very good. Very good. But Nani said the dinner will be served at 5 or by 5. Both work. At and by are a little bit different. At means at, like 5 o'clock, 100% 5 o'clock. But by means at or before, but not after. So if we say dinner will be served by 5 o'clock, it might be served at 5 o'clock. It might be served at 4:50. It might be served at 4:30. But it will definitely happen 5 o'clock. After 5 o'clock, no, it will not happen. It will be at 5 o'clock or before 5 o'clock. That is what we mean when we use by. Irana, this works, but we don't usually say a dinner because that makes it sound like there are multiple dinners that day, which is kind of weird. So grammatically, it's correct, but I don't think we would usually ever really say that. Okay, so very good, everyone. Now, the last thing we need to talk about is what should you do? Because lots of people think, ooh, passive voice, I have to remember all these rules. I have to remember auxiliary verb, past participle, this third form of the verb, being, been. And you don't really. You don't really need to do that. So, here is what I recommend. Balance. Balance. Not too much of this, not too much of this. Balance learning useful phrases with learning grammar. So you can learn grammar, but you should also be learning useful phrases. Not too much grammar. Make sure it's balanced with useful phrases. So don't just remember rules, remember language. So here's what I would like you to do. If you really want to get passive voice to feel natural in your life, just memorize things like these: been canceled, was delayed, been updated, being fixed, was arrested, weren't invited, needs to be replaced, was injured, will be delivered, going to be built. So you don't need to remember lots of rules if you just remember lots of these and you practice using them. Um, and when I say remember these, I don't mean that you need to like try to been canceled, was delayed, is being fixed. No, I just want you to use them. So the first thing you should do, take a screenshot of this. Take a screenshot or write these down. And you're going to remember them by writing sentences with them and speaking those sentences out loud when you practice speaking at home by yourself every day. For example, been canceled. You know that been canceled is correct and it's passive voice because it's here on the screen from me right now. That means it's correct. So write down been canceled. Later today, write 5 sentences with it. The meeting has been canceled. The class has been canceled. The flight has been canceled. The lesson has been canceled twice now. So you want it, and then every day, look at those sentences and read them out loud to yourself. The meeting was canceled. The flight was canceled. That's how you're going to remember these in a way that allows you to really use them in conversation. Memorizing rules is okay for when you're studying at home and writing and stuff, but when you're actually speaking in conversation, the rules just slow you down. They make you think too much, and using these will make it more natural and help you speak more fluently. So I want you to take a screenshot of this or write all of these down, or just remember that they're here and come back later and then write them down. And again, write some sentences with them. So if you have a couple minutes after this lesson, write some down. My bike was being fixed. The thief was arrested. We weren't invited to the party. The ink cartridge for the printer needs to be replaced. He was injured in an accident. So let's do it right now. Come on, or send me some sentences right now. I want everyone to try to send me 1 or 2 sentences using some of these. I will check them and put them on the screen. And the great thing is when you have these little phrases that are already created, you don't need to worry about past participle be being because you already know this is how you do it. Oh, thank you for asking your question again. Can I place the agent after the time expression? Does this make a difference? Can you please send me an example so I make sure that I understand exactly what you mean? The parcel will be delivered later today. Very good. Very good. Yeah, this is perfect. Good. Some more sentences, please. I think passive voice is one of the most difficult grammar points in English. Thank you for this lesson. Yeah, and it can be difficult. And again, I think it's difficult because people think about it too much. If you just use these phrases that I'm giving you, it's not so difficult. You just use them in your writing, in your speaking. You don't need to think too much. So again, that's my advice here is yes, it can be difficult if you think about it. The key is don't think about it. Just learn how to use it. And you don't actually need to know how if you just know what. You know that this is correct. You know that this is correct. You know that this is correct. You never really need to think about it again. And thank you for the lesson. You're very welcome. You're very welcome. Thank you for participating. The app has been updated. Very good. Very good. You just need a period at the end of your sentence. My wash machine needs to be replaced. Good. You just need a period at the end of the sentence. And I guess maybe they say wash machine in the UK, but in the US, we call it a washing machine or just a washer. A new shopping mall is going to be built in our area. Period. Perfect. Very good. Very good. Abdura, thank you for joining. The lesson has been taught by Teacher Mike. Good. Japan has been eliminated by Brazil in the World Cup. Very good. Very good. This lesson will be sent to your mail account. Good. Oh no, I need to be replaced. Oh no. Oh no, why? But yeah, good example. You're very welcome. Thank you for joining. The concert has been canceled because the singer came down with the flu. Concert has been canceled. Um, yeah, that works. Good, good, good. All right, yeah. So this is how we use passive voice, and this is how I recommend learning it. I don't recommend sitting down and studying this for a long time. I don't It's good to learn this in the beginning, but when you really want to be able to use it in real conversations, you don't need to remember this. You need to remember these. These are going to be more useful than rules. So, again, I recommend writing more sentences on paper, in your phone, keeping them, and every day reading them out loud, speaking them to yourself. The meeting was canceled. The flight was canceled. It's being fixed. Your complaint is being processed. Writing them down, reading them out loud, that is how you are going to prepare yourself to use them in real situations. And last thing, every time I do a live lesson, I will save it to my YouTube channel. So if you want to review this lesson, you can come back and watch it again anytime you want. The thing is, if you join it while it's live, you can comment like you did today. Other people will not have me correcting their sentences. You all did have me here correcting your sentences because you joined it live. Thank you all very much for participating. And my live lessons will be at the same time. Right now, the plan is the same time. So 2 p.m. Eastern time every Monday. And I will try to update you in advance about what the topic will be. I do not yet know what the topic will be for next Monday, but I will choose it soon. I'll send a message in my Facebook broadcast channel. Let me send a link for my Facebook broadcast channel, because my Facebook broadcast channel is a way that I can send you messages directly in Facebook. Usually, when I have a new post or a new video, I can send them directly to your Facebook Messenger. It's usually just one or two or three messages per day, not a lot. And if you don't like being in it, you can always decide to leave. But I'll send you the link so that you can join it if you'd like to, because that's a very good way to get updates from me. Please wait just one moment. Share, copy link. Okay, so I'm going to send a link in the comments for you all to join my Facebook broadcast channel if you are not already in it. So now there's a link down there. If you click that link, you will receive messages from me. I'm also going to send you the link to receive emails from me about once per month if you would like to. Again, you don't need to do this, but I will send you the link. Just one moment. If I can find it. One moment, please. Oh, you know what? I can't find the link right now. Oh, wait, yeah, I can. Yeah, I can. I know where it is. I know exactly where it is. Okay, so now I'm sending you the link that you can use to sign up to receive emails from me. I'll usually only send one email per month, and these emails will have information like what are my next. It's in the comments now. These emails will include information about this is how I'm going to do the live videos. I'm changing the time for the live videos. I have a new ebook. These are the best videos I made this month, things like that. So if you'd like to receive updates from me, please check out that link that says teachermikeenglish.kit.com. And if you'd like to receive messages in Facebook, go to the one that says messenger.com/teachermikeenglish. I promise I'm not going to send you a lot. And it's usually not marketing. I'm not sending you buy this course, buy this course. It's usually just little updates. Here, you guys, this is what's changing this month. This is what the live lesson's going to be about. I have a new video, things like that. Maybe one time per month, yes, I will mention a new ebook or something like that, but I try to keep it mostly free things that are useful for you. And final thing, since 32 of you are still here listening to me, I am going to share one more thing. And that is the link to the new video that I created yesterday. I think most of you have probably already watched it. But in case you haven't watched it, I recorded a video yesterday in which I drove around my hometown and talked about some different things. So I'm sending the link to that video in the comments right now as well. So this is a video in which I'm driving and talking to you about stuff. Teacher Raider, I see your that you sent me the question again. I'll come back and I will type the answer to you. I promise I will. But yeah, that is all for today. Thank you all very much for joining, and I will see you at this time next week. Thank you so much for participating.